Everyone is afraid of artificial intelligence, but for the wrong reason. They fear losing their jobs, their income, their position in society. But if you look at history, job loss has never been the most dangerous consequence of technological change. The real danger has always been psychological. Artificial intelligence isn't going to create a world where humans can't work. It's going to create a world where humans struggle to understand why their work even matters. And that distinction changes everything. For most of human history, survival was the primary concern. People worked because they had to. It was simple. But as societies became more stable and prosperous, work transformed into something else entirely. It became our identity. Think about it. Today, when you ask someone who they are, they don't describe their values or their beliefs. They describe what they do. I'm a student, I'm a trader, I'm a developer, I'm an artist. Work became the main source of meaning, structure, and self-worth in our lives. And this is the very structure that artificial intelligence is beginning to erode. The problem isn't that machines are becoming intelligent. The problem is that human intelligence is becoming ordinary. For centuries, our intelligence was rare and valuable. If you could think faster, calculate better, or analyze more deeply than others, you had a real advantage. Your skills made you special. They made you valuable. Artificial intelligence completely changes that equation. When intelligence becomes cheap, fast, and infinitely scalable, it stops being special. It becomes a commodity. And when the very thing that made you valuable becomes easily replaceable, your sense of meaning starts to weaken. This isn't just speculation. This is how the human brain is wired. Psychology shows us that we need 3 core things to stay mentally stable: competence, autonomy, and meaning. Competence is feeling like you're good at something. Autonomy is feeling like you're in control of your actions. And meaning is believing that your actions actually matter in the grand scheme of things. AI challenges all 3 of these at the same time. When a machine performs the same task you do, but better and faster, your sense of competence collapses. When critical decisions are optimized by algorithms that you can't see or understand, your autonomy fades. When the final outcomes no longer depend on human input, meaning just disappears. This process doesn't happen overnight with some big announcement. It happens quietly, creeping into our daily lives. First, we start comparing ourselves to the machines. Then, we internalize that comparison, telling ourselves we're not as good. And finally, we begin to withdraw. Not from work itself, but from our ambition, from our drive. This is why the psychological impact of AI will hit us long before the economic one. Long before we see mass unemployment, we will see mass disengagement. People will still have jobs, they'll go to work every day, but they will feel irrelevant inside them. They will perform tasks without truly believing their contribution matters anymore. This creates a dangerous mental state. When people feel useless, they don't just become calm and relaxed. They become anxious, resentful, and impulsive. History shows this pattern clearly. Periods of rapid technological change often coincide with rising rates of depression, addiction, and social fragmentation. It's not because people are lazy. It's because our sense of meaning collapses faster than new sources of identity can form. AI accelerates this process dramatically. Unlike previous technologies like the tractor or the factory line, AI doesn't just replace physical labor. It replaces cognitive value. It replaces judgment, analysis, creativity. It can even simulate emotional connection. This creates a new and brutal psychological hierarchy. Humans are no longer compared to other humans, but to machines. And in a head-to-head comparison on that front, humans always lose. A machine never gets tired. It never doubts itself. It never needs validation or a pat on the back. The danger is not that humans will stop working. The danger is that humans will stop believing their work has any intrinsic value. This leads to a question our society is completely unprepared to answer. If productivity no longer defines our worth, what does? We've built our entire modern culture around achievement, around optimization, around the idea of constant improvement. But optimization is exactly what machines are designed to dominate. In a world optimized by AI, humans simply cannot compete on efficiency. So we must compete on meaning. And meaning is far harder to measure, reward, or structure a society around. This is why the future will feel psychologically unstable long before it feels economically unstable. People won't be saying, AI took my job. They'll be saying, I don't know where I belong anymore. This explains why the rise of AI is happening at the same time as a rise in anxiety, identity, confusion, and burnout, even among the most highly skilled and successful individuals. The problem isn't fear of unemployment. It's the deep, gnawing fear of irrelevance. When intelligence is no longer a rare resource, meaning becomes the last scarce resource. The future won't ask whether humans can outperform machines. That question is already answered. The future will ask whether humans can redefine value beyond mere productivity. It will ask whether purpose can exist without comparison, and whether our identity can survive without a sense of superiority. Artificial intelligence doesn't remove the need for humans. It removes the illusion that we were special just because of our intelligence alone. And that realization, for many, will be psychologically painful. The question isn't whether AI will reshape society. It already is. The real question is whether we are prepared to rebuild our sources of meaning in a world where thinking is no longer a uniquely human trait. Thank you for watching.